Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
You know how people say location is everything in real estate?
Right.
Well, it's the same, if not more so, in the restaurant business.
Yeah.
And today, we're diving into a goldmine of advice specifically for restaurants in Qatar.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so what's fascinating about Qatar
What's
is
interesting about
it's
it?
this blend of local culture and a huge expat community, all with different tastes and expectations.
Yeah, that's true. So picking the right location there
So picking the right location there,
is like a master class in market research.
you got it.
We're dissecting a blog post aimed at aspiring restaurateurs
Yeah.
in Qatar. Think of this as your cheat sheet for success.
Okay.
This isn't generic stuff. This is the nitty-gritty, the inside scoop on what it takes to thrive in that market. And the first thing this blog post really hammers home is that location isn't just about foot traffic.
Right.
It's about your restaurant's destiny.
Interesting.
It influences your brand, your target audience, even your rent.
Really?
Yeah, imagine a super trendy, minimalist cafe trying to make it in the heart of Souk Waqif, surrounded by traditional Qatari architecture. It'd be like showing up to a black tie event in a swimsuit, awkward and totally off-brand.
I can see that. And when it comes to rent,
And when it comes to rent,
prime locations in areas like West Pearl or Lucille Marina come with a hefty price tag.
yeah,
Choosing a spot without understanding the potential costs is like ordering dessert before checking the menu prices. You might end up with sticker shock.
ouch, yeah. Not a good look when you're trying to impress investors. But the article goes deeper, pointing out that Qatar isn't a one-size-fits-all market.
Okay.
You've got the local Qatari population and then the expat community, each with their own dining preferences.
Right. And that's where things get really interesting.
That's where things get really interesting.
The blog post emphasizes tailoring your entire business, not just the location, to resonate with your target group.
Okay.
An upscale steakhouse might thrive in West Bay, popular with expats, while a traditional Qatari restaurant might find its niche in a family-friendly area like Al Wakra.
It's like choosing the right fishing spot.
Right.
Right. You wouldn't cast a line for tuna in a freshwater lake.
Right.
Speaking of competition, the blog makes this a brilliant point that it's
Right.
not just about restaurants serving similar food. It's
Right.
about understanding the entire playing field.
What do you mean?
Even a food court down the street is competition.
Really?
Yeah, because you're competing for a slice of people's dining out budget.
Oh, I see.
Are you going head-to-head with 10 other burger joints?
Or is there an untapped market for, say, vegan cafes or late-night dessert spots? That's where strategic location analysis comes into play.
That makes sense.
Okay, so you've scoped out your competition,
Yeah.
but how do you know if those hungry customers will actually walk through your doors?
Yeah.
That's where understanding foot traffic comes in.
That's a good point.
And don't forget the seasonality.
Oh, right.
A location bustling in the cooler months might be deserted during Qatar's scorching summers.
Yeah, that's true.
You need data for the entire year, not just peak season.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if those restaurants offering special winter menus are onto something. Now, I know this next part might seem a bit dry,
Oh,
but
yeah.
trust me, it's crucial.
What is it?
Zoning laws.
Zoning laws, okay.
Even I was surprised by some of the examples the article gave.
Really?
Apparently, there are restrictions on certain types of cuisines in certain areas.
Huh.
Like, imagine trying to open a barbecue smokehouse next to a perfumery.
Oh, no.
Talk about clashing scents.
That's where understanding the nuances of Qatar's regulations is vital.
It is.
Did you know even your restaurant sign needs pre-approval
Right.
based on size, language, and even lighting?
Wow.
This isn't just paperwork.
Ignoring it can get your business shut down. Qatar takes this stuff seriously.
Wow, that's some next-level signage scrutiny.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk money. The article emphasizes calculating potential revenue generated by your location, not just focusing on costs.
And what does that mean?
It's about thinking like an entrepreneur, not just a tenant.
I see.
Imagine two locations, one with $5,000 rent, but the potential for $20,000 in revenue.
Okay.
Another with $2,000 rent, but only $8,000 potential.
Uh-huh.
That higher rent might be a steal if you're bringing in the big bucks.
Right.
It's all about finding that sweet spot.
Yeah, it's like that saying, you have to spend money to make money, but
Yeah.
you have to spend it strategically.
So true. Speaking of strategy, the article makes a great point about considering the long-term investment potential of a location.
Okay.
It's not just about the next year or two. It's about where you see your business in 5-10 years down the line.
Right, exactly. Imagine if you could snag a spot in a developing area, like Mashirib, downtown Doha. It might be a bit quiet now, but as that area grows and attracts more businesses and residents,
Right.
your restaurant's value skyrockets right along with it.
It's like finding a hidden gem before the rest of the world catches on.
Yeah.
But even with the perfect location, you've got to keep your finger on the pulse. Qatar's constantly evolving. What's trendy today might be old news tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of evolving, something else this blog post nailed was the importance of fresh ingredients, especially in a climate like Qatar's.
Right.
They highlighted how your location can actually impact your supply chain.
You know,
That never occurred to me before.
it's easy to overlook.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Okay.
A restaurant tucked away in a less populated area might have lower rent. But if your suppliers have to battle traffic and higher fuel costs to reach you,
Yeah.
those savings disappear quickly.
That's true.
It's all about those hidden costs.
And speaking of hidden costs, the articles section on the local workforce was fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just about finding great chefs and servers. It's
Right.
about understanding the local labor market.
Yeah, imagine finding the perfect spot,
Yeah.
but struggling to hire experienced chefs because it's a nightmare commute.
Right.
Or because the wages you're offering are not competitive in that area.
Right.
Suddenly, that prime location doesn't seem so appealing, does it?
It's like setting up shop in the middle of the desert and then realizing you forgot to bring water. Speaking of things we often forget, let's talk about technology.
Okay,
I mean, it's 2024.
Right.
Everything's digital.
absolutely. Gone are the days when all you needed was a good stove and a friendly face.
Right.
The blog post emphasizes.
How crucial a reliable technology infrastructure is for restaurants these days.
For sure.
Think high-speed internet for those point-of-sale systems, POS systems for those new to the game.
Online ordering platforms.
Right.
Even just making sure your Wi-Fi is strong enough for those Instagram-worthy food pics.
Oh, tell me about it. There's nothing worse than trying to post a mouth-watering food picture and getting stuck with the spinning wheel of doom because the Wi-Fi is basically dial-up speed.
Right.
But it goes beyond just customer-facing tech, right?
Absolutely.
It's about leveraging technology to streamline your entire operation.
Okay.
This blog post mentions the importance of things like local IT support,
Yeah.
digital marketing services, even specialized software for inventory management.
Right.
It's about working smarter, not harder, and technology is key to that.
Music to my ears. Efficiency is everything these days.
But even with all the fancy tech in the world,
Yeah,
you can't run a restaurant if the lights go out, right?
exactly. The article actually has a whole section on the importance of physical infrastructure.
Okay.
Things like power supply reliability.
Water quality,
Quality.
even waste management systems.
Wow.
These are things that can make or break a restaurant,
Yeah.
but they often get overlooked in the excitement of finding that perfect location.
So true.
It's easy to get caught up in the aesthetics and forget about the essentials.
Yeah.
But let's say we've done our due diligence.
Okay.
We've considered the market.
The competition, the regulations, the tech, everything. How do we actually go from a short list of potential locations to that, this is it moment?
That's where the article gets really practical.
Oh, okay.
It talks about conducting what's called a SWOT analysis for each potential location.
SWOT, for those who haven't encountered it before.
SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
That's right.
Basically, it's a way to systematically evaluate the pros and cons of each option.
And here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
The blog emphasizes that this isn't just a generic business school SWOT analysis.
Okay.
They encourage you to look at it through the lens of the specific location in Qatar.
I'm intrigued.
Give me an example.
Okay, so let's say you're looking at a spot in the Pearl, Qatar.
Okay.
One strength might be the high concentration of affluent residents and tourists,
Right.
but a weakness could be
Right.
the limited parking options. Oh, right.
Which might deter people from driving there,
Right.
especially during peak hours.
Ah, I see what you mean. It's about getting granular, really understanding the microdynamics of each location.
Precisely.
You have to ask yourself,
Okay.
what are the unique opportunities this specific spot offers?
Yeah.
Are there any potential threats, like construction plan for the building next door,
Right.
that could block foot traffic for months? It's about connecting the dots and seeing the big picture,
Okay.
but also zooming in on the details that others might miss.
It's like detective work almost.
Yeah.
You're piecing together all these clues to find the location that's not just good on paper,
Right.
but actually has the potential to be a hit with real customers.
Exactly. And once you've identified that potential gem,
Yeah.
the real negotiation begins.
The blog post has some really savvy tips on lease agreements.
Okay.
For example, they suggest trying to negotiate rent adjustments based on your restaurant's performance.
Talk about a win-win. It incentivizes both the restaurant owner and the landlord to work together to make the business a success.
Right.
But let's say you've signed the lease.
Yeah.
You've got the keys in hand.
Right.
What happens next?
Well,
It's build-out time, right?
right. The blog doesn't just leave you hanging with a signed lease.
Okay.
It dives into the nitty-gritty of setting up shop,
Okay.
designing the layout,
Uh-huh.
choosing the right kitchen equipment,
Okay.
even the importance of hiring and training staff who are the right fit for your restaurant's concept and location.
Because even with the most amazing food and the perfect ambiance, if the service is terrible, people won't come back.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of local marketing.
Yeah.
This blog post really emphasizes that sponsoring a neighborhood event,
Okay.
partnering with businesses in the area,
Right.
even just making sure your online presence is optimized for local searches.
Mm-hmm.
These things can make all the difference.
It's about becoming part of the community, not just another restaurant on the block.
Right.
You know, as we've been going through this deep dive,
Yeah.
I've been thinking about how this advice, well, specifically for Qatar,
Yeah.
has these universal truths about entrepreneurship woven throughout
Absolutely.
the need for meticulous research,
Yeah.
understanding your target market,
Right.
adapting to local conditions,
Right.
building a strong team,
Yeah.
paying attention to both the big picture and the small details.
Mm-hmm.
These are principles applicable to anyone starting a business,
Right.
no matter where they are in the world.
So true. It's like the blog gives you the ingredients and the recipe.
Yeah.
But you're the chef who has to bring it all together, adding your own unique flavor and style to create something truly special.
Exactly. And speaking of adding your own flavor,
Yeah.
one final thought I'd like to leave our listeners with is this.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to experiment and adapt.
Yeah.
The restaurant industry is constantly evolving,
Right.
especially in a dynamic place like Qatar.
Right.
What works today might not work tomorrow.
That's true.
So stay curious,
Yeah.
stay flexible, and never stop learning and growing.
Love that. It's not just about finding the perfect location. It's about being the perfect entrepreneur for that location.
Yeah.
Always adapting.
Always innovating. This has been an incredible deep dive.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I'm suddenly craving some delicious Qatari food.
Me too.
Until next time, happy listening.